today we're going to be using our yoga ball to do some compound moves. So what I'd like you to start with first is just a light little bounce. If not, you're going to do a half jack. So you can come from here and step out one side and then the other. Inhale and exhale. No tension here in the neck. Stepping lightly, you can keep a soft bend in your knee if you're standing. Inhale and exhale. So just 5 more back and forth. 4, 3, 2, 1 more, both sides. And then we're going to jack it out with both at the same time. Think about that crown of your head facing towards the ceiling, shoulders relaxed, not really bringing any tension into the neck here. Exhale on the way up, inhale on the way down. Just 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more. And relax. Reach those arms up. And just let it go. Again, reach for the sky. Right into that heart center. 1 more time. Okay, so if you don't have a ball, you're going to head to the floor. Our first move is going to be to warm up that core. So on that ball, I'm going to walk out here. You can always take a ball behind my back, a small ball. I'm going to take an exhale, pop it up halfway, and back down. So exhale up for 2 and 3. Now press your low back down. 4 and 5. Now keep your head nice and supported, you guys. 6, it's in a hammock. 7, interlace the thumbs right down the side of your neck. Exhale, 8. Exhale, 9. Now just a little pulse right here in the middle. Pulse it. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 6, 8, and 10. Open it up if that is comfortable. Create a nice big back bend stretch here. From the floor, you can drive the knees into the chest. Take a nice inhale. Nice big exhale. Walk it up and in. First weight move, you guys. So I would go lighter if you have options. 3-pound weights. As we come to the first move, if you're standing, you're going to repeat the same exact movements that we're doing from here. So all you do is come to a lateral raise first, flip the weight, and rotate up to the ceiling. So inhale, exhale, flip, and push. Inhale, exhale. Now we're being really mindful that we're not shrugging the shoulders at all. And 3, inhale, and exhale, 4. You can keep that bend in your elbows. 5, inhale, and 6. Just warming up the shoulders here, you guys. Your abdominal muscles are staying in nice and strong. So let's do 1 more here. Inhale, exhale. Now just do with that lateral raise. 1 and 2 without shrugging, no tension at all. Leading with your shoulders, elbows. 5 and 4 and 3, 2. Flip the weight up and just a tiny pulse. Keep that in the shoulders and out of the neck. 4 and 5, 6, 7. 3 more, you guys. 8 and 9. 1 more time and rest. Awesome work. From here, nice standing move. Again, if I have an object that I could squeeze, if it's a ball, I'll go ahead and grab that. The first thing we're going to do is add a nice little rotation side to side. Now, at the side that I'm rotating toward, I'm going to be pushing with that opposite arm. Exhale, inhale. Now I want to keep my feet in that same space. And then really resist that with that arm that's coming. That's if I rotate to the left, that left arm is resisting that push from the right. Exhale, inhale. 5 more. 5 and 4. Here we go. 3 and 2. 1 more, you guys, side to side. Now just to that right side. 1, 2, really push. 3. You could always take your palms together and just push with those arms. 5 6, resist it, you guys, 7, 8, 2 more. And now just to the other side, rotate for 1, 2, 3, and 4. Exhale, push now, 5, 6, and 7, 3 more, 8, 9, one more time, you guys, and 10. Now from here, if I have the ball to help me, otherwise I could use a chair, I'm gonna push the ball out and come back in. Rotate the toes out to either side, and then keep your spine nice and tall. Think about a nice plie here, so working the inner thigh. Going to exhale as you come out, inhale when you come back. Not necessary to have the yoga ball. You can do the same thing. You can push with your arms together as well. Or you could use a weight, holding a weight in the middle, you guys. 3 more. 3, 2. Now at your low point, sink and pulse. So really focus here on your inner thigh. Press through the heels. Relax your shoulders. Just pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just gonna rotate here and gently lengthen my spine. You can really reach those arms away from you, push and lengthen. Take a deep breath in, you guys. Create as much space as you can between your hips and your fingertips. You can also support your hands on your quadriceps as well. And take a big inhale, contract the quadricep, lengthen the legs, push it back up, and then just gently switch to the other side. We're going to keep your spine as long as you can. Really extend, you guys. Always thinking about how much length you can create in the body. Want a nice, long, lean body here, you guys. We're going to come back down. We're going to go back to the abs. So if I can, I'm going to come back to the floor if that doesn't work. And what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of a rotation. So from here, if my yoga ball is too big, which I'm going to say most likely that is not the case for people at home. It's better to have a yoga ball, just so you know, if you get one, where your shins can be, your quads can be parallel to the floor, and you can sit like you're on a chair. Usually your knees are kind of up like this, just the way that it is. We tend to buy a yoga ball that is too small for us as opposed to too big. All right, so if for some reason I can't touch the floor, I would have a weight that I could touch. Now, take a deep breath in from here, and you're going to rotate your knee in and extend back out. So you could bend both of your elbows, throw on the floor, and rotate and draw the one knee in. So exhale. Now lead with your shoulder. 5, and 6, and 7. Keep this out of your neck. 8, 2 more, you guys. 9. Now just a little pulse. So pull 1, 2, 3 through that shoulder. 5, 6, 7, and 9, 10, and relax it. I'm going to open it back up again. I love the aspect of being able to create that nice big back bend. You can always flip over on the floor and do an upward facing dog and just reverse that motion going the other way. So nice deep breath in, nice deep breath out. Now we're just going to switch to that other side. So big inhale. As you rotate through the shoulder, the knee comes in and extend back out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Exhale. On the way in, you guys, press the low back down. 9, and exhale as you connect. Now pulse it for 1, 2, and 4, 6, 8, and relax it again. One more time. Big back bend. Inhale from the floor. Give yourself a big hug. Hug both knees into your chest. Deep breath here. And walk it back in and push it back. All right, so now possibly a little bit heavier. If you have options and you have a 5 or 8 pound weight, and that is your comfortable bicep weight, From here, shoulders back, belly button in. If I'm sitting on the yoga ball, I'm gonna add a front snap kick and add that element here where I've got to focus on the balance. From standing, you can do the same thing and add a front snap kick. You can do one at a time if you want to, or alternate just like this. So exhale, 1. Exhale, 2. Now sit up as tall as you can. Try to kick your leg as high as your waist. And if it's not comfortable, eliminate the kick, you guys, and focus on the biceps. So 5 and 4. Exhale on the way up. 3, I'm pinning my elbows to the side here to avoid any extra momentum. 1 more. Relax it. Roll the shoulders back. Now all I want you to do is switch to a hammer curl. That is when the weights come up and down just like a hammer. We're going to repeat that same thing. However, I would like you to take your arms out to the side. You're going to be able to drop your legs a little bit lower here, but keep them controlled. Exhale up and switch. Now be mindful that you can pin your elbows to your side. Exhale. You keep your feet relatively close together, so you always have, think about that tripod. Exhale, inhale. Shoulders back, belly button in. 3 more. 1, 2. Just 1 more, both sides, you guys. And rest. Roll the shoulders back. Now, all I want you to do is create a hammer twist. So I'm going to go back to the hammer curl, but I'm going to add a twist at the top of the movement. Think about as you're lifting weights, you guys, just watch your wrists. If you start noticing that this is happening, what you're doing is adding unnecessary pressure to your wrist. If you have wrist issues, which a lot of people do, we don't want to hold the weight with that rotation. We want to keep it strong and straight. All right, so we're going to go hammer, curl, twist. Ready? 1. Exhale for 2. 3. I'm going to exhale as the weight reaches the top. That way I really have to keep that core nice and engaged with that exhale, and it protects the back. When you exhale, you naturally engage the core. Just an easier way to think about when telling you pull the belly button in, engage all this, and you're trying to focus on what you're doing. Focus on your breath, and it really ties everything together. Now just 1 more, both sides. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Very nice. Go ahead and place the weights down. We're going to jack it out. Now, from standing, you can do regular jumping jacks. You can do half jacks. You can also do them with weights. Big breath in here. Jack it. 1, 2. If you can't jump, you step tap. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now I'm going to punch it to the side. 1, 2, 3. You're in between those closing walls and you're trying to push them apart. Now really contract and push. Exhale on the way out. Now we're going to raise the roof right here. Reach for it. Inhale. Exhale. If the arm movements either don't work for you, you can still go to your jumping jacks or your half jacks. Exhale up, inhale down. 4 more. 3, 2. Now you're going to go to the corners. Squeeze your scapula. Reach to the corners. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep that core nice and tight. Now we're going to go into that kickback. Right here we're at the halfway point. Squeeze your triceps. Elbows a pivot point. Exhale as you extend and really focus on engaging and squeezing those arms. Now jab cross. With every movement in and out, I'm jabbing and crossing. Go with whatever feels best for you. Inhale, exhale. 5 more. We're gonna circle those arms. Inhale, exhale back. Try not to shrug. You can make the circle smaller or bigger. Keep your core pulled in. Nice soft feet, you guys. Rewind your circle. We're almost there. Exhale, inhale. Without shrugging the shoulders, you're not causing any tension or stress in the neck. Last 20, half jack first. The arms here are not spaghetti arms. If you don't have weight, you're squeezing, contracting. 3 more, and then we finish with our full jack. Ready? Here we go. As big as you can. Exhale it up. Watch your neck as you jump. Pull it in nice and tight, you guys. 3 more. 3, 2. Now you can keep jogging a little bit if you're standing. Just bounce it out a little bit. Nice deep breath in. Nice deep breath out. One more time. Very good. You take a nice inhale here. Reach those arms up tall. And then gently open. Again, reach for the sky. Let it go. One more time. Now we're just going to focus on the triceps. You can use 1 heavy weight, you can use 2 light weights. I'll show you both ways. If I have 2 weights and I want to challenge my arm that's not as strong, from the floor you can come to a bridge pose, and as you lift your hips, you'll lift your arms. From the ball here, I'm going to bend my elbows by my ears and squeeze it up. This is easier to do if I take the weights and pin them together. However, my stronger arm can help the weaker arm. So if that feels okay and you want to work that, that's one great option. You can also take 1 heavier weight if you have that, and you're going to exhale and inhale. Okay, so from sitting, that's your option. I'm going to come to that bridge, but from the ball here. So I'm going to take my head, neck, and shoulders on the ball. I don't have to come down here, you guys. But this is a great way to keep those glutes activated and that core activated. So I'm going to come to the forehead and squeeze it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale for 5 and 6 or 7. Buns nice and tight. 8 and 9. Now 10 pulses, whether I'm up or down here from sitting or standing. Exhale and inhale. Your elbow is just a pivot point. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Very nice. Let that go for a moment. Stretch it out. If you're standing, just reach nice and tall. Lengthen those arms out. Take a great big breath in. So I'm going to come back to that bridge. So if I'm on the floor, I would pop my hips up when the weights come up and drop it when it comes down. So I can do the same thing here. So I want to make sure I'm not compromising my core and letting that pressure come into the low back. So it can be better as you're lifting, keep your glutes tight and keep everything engaged on the ball, because you're already kind of focusing on keeping your balance, but from the floor a little bit easier. Now it's a 2-2 count for the triceps. If I have the 2 weights, I'm going to come down for 2 and up for 2. They're coming right by the side of your ears here. Down for 2, for 2. Inhale, exhale 3. Inhale, exhale 4. Either way, your elbow's a pivot point. 5. If you're doing the 1 weight, it comes to your forehead. If you're doing the 2, it comes by the side of your ears. Your buns and your abs are tight. Your neck and shoulders are supported if you're lying on the ball. Inhale, exhale. 3 more. Inhale down, exhale up. 1 more. Now I'm going to come halfway down and right back up. Here we go. Pulse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 6. That elbow's just a pivot point. 7, 8. Last 2. 9. 1 more now. And 10. Very nice. I'm going to place that down here. And once again, open and create that great big stretch. If I'm seated, I can draw from here the one arm behind my back and really create that nice space in the tricep. One more time, you guys. So if I'm sitting or standing, the movement here is going to come from behind the head and up to the ceiling. And what's different is when I'm here, it's at that forehead and it's coming up to the ceiling. So we're going to go down 1, up 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, down 1, 2, 2, 3. Now, when we start pausing, we're stopping any chance of momentum as we lift the weight. So I could just push it up there and just keep going back and forth. But I can really recruit a lot more of the muscle fiber if I go slowly and think about what I'm doing. So exhale, think about the strength of your tricep. Inhale, back down, exhale. Inhale, now the abs are nice and engaged, head, neck, and shoulders are supported. Either way, the crown of the head is nice and tall, you guys, the spine is long. Exhale it up. Just 2 more. 1 more now. Now, little minis, I'm just going to come halfway. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Generally, that mini is the hardest because you're really stopping that momentum and only giving yourself a small window to pause and resist. 3 more. 2, and 1. Wonderful work. From here, I'm going to come back up. Make sure that your weights, you guys, if you're on the ball, that I just keep everything in front of me just for safety. Just make sure that we don't trip on anything that we don't want. So what I want you guys to do from here, if you have a ball or an object, actually a weight would be great. You're going to reach from here, and obviously you're not going to bang your knee to the weight, but you can pull right into your waist. So big breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now really pull that in, you guys, and use those arms. Exhale. Now, just a little bit faster. Squeezing as much as I can. One more time, set slow then fast. Ready? One more time, fast. Last 2. And rest, you guys. Great job. Take a moment from here. Lengthen. Keep your spine nice and tall. And rotate. So I'm just going to come here to a lateral lunge. And use that ball in front of me. So I can even sit on the ball. So sometimes coming into this position is challenging. So if I sit on the ball, I can work on getting that same movement. If I can comfortably sit on the ball, makes it a lot easier. Other side, just going to rotate now. You can really recruit from here, your quads, opening up your hips. From here, spine nice and tall. Stretch and strengthen, you guys, all day long. Okay, so now we're switching to the other foot. So big breath in, the other knee's going to come in. Exhale on the way in. Fantastic, you guys. Pull it. Ready? Speed it up. slow it down again. Ready? And speed it up once again. Last two. And rest. Great work again, you guys. I'm gonna have a seat on the ball or stay seated, reach those arms up. Let it go. Inhale. Exhale. So to be able to execute a lunge, you can use the wall, you can use a chair, or you can use your yoga ball. So from a standing position here, I can show you what it looks like from the front and then from the side. So I'm not from here just sitting on top of the wall, but that is one option. But what I'd like you to do is come to that hip distance here, and just a little tiny portion of your hip will touch and lift. You could use a wall, hold on to the wall. And what I love to do is not let my knee touch the wall. That keeps that body upright and it allows you to go super low in that lunge, lower than we normally would. So from here, from that side, just the very edge here of that glute. Notice here, that knee can come down a lot further if I didn't have that support. 2, 3, 4. You're pressing through your front heel. 5. And if it doesn't work, you got a wall squat. 6, 7, 8, 9. Now we're going to pulse it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. I'm going to stretch it out from here. Reach nice and long. Just keep the legs as long as you can. If you're on the wall here, pushing the wall away from you. Take a deep breath in. Fantastic. We're just going to switch and turn the other direction. Now the other leg, the inside leg is the one that's closest to the ball. If I'm using the ball, that way just a little tiny portion of that hip can touch. So pull the belly button in, roll the shoulders back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. Now 10 pulses, you guys. Keep everything pulled in nice and tight. Drop that knee as low as you can. 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 9, and rest. I'm going to lengthen that once again and push from here. Contract the quadriceps, lengthen the spine, take a deep breath in. Create some nice space in those legs and those hamstrings. Great job, you guys. Now, I can use my yoga ball here to help increase that plank and make it even harder. Now, that's not for everyone. Sometimes just doing a plank, one of the #1 exercises you can do is a plank. If you've got 5 minutes, you can work on doing the plank for 1-minute increments 3 times if you want, just to build up. Now, I can use a yoga ball, which is an unstable surface, and just add to that. So the first part of the move, I'm going to create a triangle with my arms. So my arms are going to be in a triangle formation. And from the floor, I'm keeping that triangle and not worrying about using the ball, obviously. From this position, my feet are going to come wider than they normally would in the plank. So I can look behind me and see my feet easily. The elbows are under the shoulder. The first thing I want you to do is try to imagine that you have a string from the ceiling and it's pulling your belly button in and it's going to pull you all the way back. So you can come back and return and let your abs come back down, or you can exhale and then you can hover, okay? So exhale back for 1. Exhale back for 2. This would be your dolphin pose from the floor. 3, you don't have to take your feet as wide if you're from the floor. 4, inhale, exhale, 5, inhale, exhale, 6. You want to watch that your abdominal muscles stay super tight here, so there's no pressure coming into that low back. Hover, squeeze your glutes, lift. That string from the ceiling is pulling you back. 2 more. 1 more. I'm gonna rest from here. Child's pose. I can draw those arms away. Relax the head, neck, and shoulders. Hands either to the floor or push the ball as far away from you with your ears dropping through those arms, and just lengthen your spine. So we're going to come over the top of the ball. And if I don't have a ball, I'm just doing my bird dog, and I can add weights to it if I like. Now, just coming again over that unstable surface here, the difference being you would be on your hands and knees from the floor. With the yoga ball, you're lengthening your legs and keeping your neck in neutral. So I will start here with lifting my right arm and my left leg. Now the left arm needs to stay close to the ball for stability. So I'm going to stick here with my right hand and my left leg and keep my neck in neutral. If you want to add weights, if you are not using the ball, exhale, 1 and 2. Now lengthen and squeeze your glutes here. Lead with your heel. Keep your neck in neutral, your spine long, and pull the belly button right in. Exhale. 5 more. 4, 3. You could always have a chair in front of you or be closer to the wall if balance gives you an issue. 1 more. And rest it. Over the ball here, I can really allow myself to mold the ball and just kind of relax the body. Just different from that back bend, can really relax that spine, head, neck, and shoulders. From the floor, you can come to that cat-cow pose. We're pulling the belly button and rounding the back and then opening and lifting. All right, so now we're gonna switch to the other hand. So I'm gonna take my right hand and pull it in close, lengthen, my left arm is going to reach, and the right leg. So I'm going to squeeze the glute, inhale, exhale, for 2, 3, squeeze and lift, and 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, 2 more. 9, nice long spine. And rest it, you guys. Once again, I can hug the ball here or come back to that cat-cow and really lengthen it open and create as much space here in my low back as I can. Now what I'd like you to do is alternate. So if you're on the floor here and you are not using the yoga ball, think about keeping your spine nice and long here as you open and lengthen, and really lengthen your spine as much as you can and prevent your hip from rotating and lifting that heel straight up. All right, so now we're going to be alternating one side and then the other. We're just adding a little more instability to that because as we rotate, there's really a lot of recruitment of that core. So I'm going to take a deep breath in first. Right arm, left leg. Inhale. Exhale. Left arm, right leg. 1. Exhale. And switch. For 2. Exhale. Nice and long. 3. Exhale. Keep that neck in neutral. 4. Pull the belly button in. It really helps with the balance, you guys. Everything is engaged here. Last 2, alternating. And last one, both sides. and rest. I can come to an upward facing dog here, roll that neck out. So what you're gonna notice is as you go through some of these movements, you might go, oh, I kind of feel that in my back. Well, the goal would be to start to feel some fatiguing in your back. That is strengthening that back. It's not hurting, but it's getting tired. Just means that you're recruiting and engaging and using the entire midsection of your body and building that strength in the center, which just helps to support us in every aspect of our day. Now, if I have a chair or a stool, I can also keep my feet on the floor. The only thing is, without a ball, I cannot really do extensions, but what I can do is I can lengthen and change the position of my leg if I have a stable surface, and I could lift with it farther away as opposed to close in. The closer I am, the more I work the butt and the leg here and the top of that leg as I squeeze and lift. The farther away, the more I'm recruiting the hamstrings. You can do the same thing from a chair, but you can't really push and pull. Okay? So deep breath in now. The first thing we're going to do is come to that bridge. My feet can be completely on the floor. I'm not going to be at the very top unless I have a hard time with this. I could take my leg completely over and lift up my buns just a few inches. Okay? Ideally, I want to be with my legs off of the ball and my heel pressing down. I need to push straight down, press here through the triceps, and then squeeze. I don't want to come onto my neck, so the shoulders, hips, and the knees have one big line. So deep breath in, exhale, lift. Now squeeze your glutes, press here through your triceps. 2, 3. Now really squeeze all the way from the glutes into those hamstrings, you guys. Squeeze the glutes as tight as you can. Pull that belly button in. Recruit from here the triceps. Push with those arms. Exhale. Exhale, lift. 3 more. 2. 1 more. And rest it for a moment. You can always rest, just take your feet up on top of the ball or a chair. Take a deep breath in, rotate, and look to your left and your right. Now we're going to do a set of extensions. If I don't have a ball, I'm just going to push the ball farther away from me and repeat that same move, and I'm going to feel that in your hamstrings. If you don't feel your hamstrings and you feel it in your back, your abdominal muscles need to stay tight and your glutes need to stay tight. The number one thing here is people like, oh, my back hurts. Well, because as I do this, I'm compromising here by not keeping my spine straight, not keeping this tuck, and not keeping that belly button in. So always start small from the floor if it's best. Now from here, if I feel comfortable and I have a ball, I'm going to push and come back in. So I'm going to repeat that first part of that move. Left, push. Now you can have most of your calves on the ball. So from here, you can draw back in and then let it go. Or you can walk down a little bit further. And as you lift, just the ankle comes on the ball and you're not going to let it rest. Otherwise, down and up. Here we go. So push, 1, push, 2. Now really isolate and squeeze here, you guys. 3. Exhale, push. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. 9. 1 more. And rest. Awesome job. I'm going to lengthen through here my left leg, point and flex. Now, generally, you don't have to do that many times to really feel it. Roll the ankle. So the weaker muscles of the body would be your triceps and your hamstrings, weaker than your more dominant biceps and quads. So as you go through your day, you're grocery shopping, you're picking stuff up, think about the muscles that you're recruiting. As you go through that day, you guys, it's not as common to work your posterior chain. That's why it's so important that we create balance by strengthening the back part of our body as much as we do the front, okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and come to a butt lift. So again, my heel can come right from the floor. I don't need anything fancy. I could use a step or a chair. Most importantly, that energy needs to push down, and I'm going to reach and lengthen here that toe to the ceiling. So big breath in, pop it up, and let it go. Here we go. 1, 2. Exhale as you lift. If you are lifting, make sure you're not coming on your neck. 4, you're stopping at your shoulder blades. 5. Now you're recruiting the butt leg all the way down the hamstring here, you guys. 6, your low back maybe will get fatigued, but it shouldn't hurt. You got to keep that core tight. 7, 8, 2 more. 9, one more time, you guys. Give that a quick little rest. The rest is to switch legs, and then I can stretch that leg out while I work this other one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. If it's just too much of the ball, take your foot on the floor and start there, and then start lifting with the chair or step stool. Exhale on the way up. Last 3, 2, 1 more. Now I'm going to go back to that first side on my little stretches here. If you need to, counter punch that out, you guys. 10 mini pulses with that first side. Big breath in, abdominal muscles in. If you're using a chair, make sure your buns are close to the chair. It's not coming into your low back. 10 pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. You can also use the side of your bed. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it go here, you guys. Lengthen and switch. Now, obviously, if you have a bed that's way up here, most likely, I'm not saying put your foot on the mattress, but on that base of the bed. Like to do these sometimes, you know, you're in Hawaii, you want to give your butt a quick little lift before you go out, do some butt lifts for you at the beach. So big breath in now, you guys. Switching sides, pressing down, pulsing up. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Isolate legs. 6. Engage that core. 7. You guys can do this. 8, 9. 1 more. And 10. Fantastic job. Just take a quick little break here. Either your feet are on the ball, you can tabletop your shins. Now we're going to rotate here in that little spinal twist. So if I have the ball, I'm going to rotate here to my right side. My right leg is going to come down. My left knee is going to stay hooked on the ball. Otherwise, that spinal, I rotate both of my knees over to that right side, lengthen the arms out. Deep breath in. You can, if you want to, you can lengthen your top leg. So if you have the ball and you don't want the ball to go away from you, then don't do that. Just keep that nice and supported so that those knees can stay nice and relaxed without any tension in that low back. I'm going to rotate back to the middle and then just gently switch to the other side. So the side that I'm going to, that leg comes down and the opposite leg pulls into the ball. And I try to create as much rotation as I can, starting from my finger and my shoulder and then down into that low back and rotating that knee over. So big inhale, nice big exhale. Very nice, you guys. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come back up. So I'm going to rotate over and then gently push myself back up. So now, if I don't have a ball, I can just do my front snap kick. But to work here on my posture, that length of my leg, and increasing the range of motion of my hip, I'm going to exhale, lift and down. Also going to squeeze that ball so that when I go to kick, I'm not losing the ball. So I'm going to squeeze it nice and tight. So big breath in, shoulder height. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like you mean it, 9, 10. I'm just going to go a little bit faster. So I want you to really focus on squeezing that ball, taking a deep breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more, you guys. 9 and 10. Relax for a moment. Lengthen your spine. Contract. If need be, your hands are right along the shin. Your back is nice and long. One more time, that same leg. If you want to this time, you can bend your knee and then kick it like a front snap kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Really squeeze it now. 8, 9, and 10. Just a little bit faster. You can either go back to that knee or front snap. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. And 10. One more time. I don't want to let my heart dip below my hips. I'm going to lengthen that spine, shoot the arrows out of my hamstrings that I just worked really hard. Contract the quads. Big inhale. Nice exhale. And then we're going to switch feet. So straight leg kick first. If I don't have that ball, it's a front rising kick. You can take your hand and kick it. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pull that belly button tight. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. A little faster. Two more. One more. Quick little rest. Lengthen. Now, if you can hear me breathing, I'm forcing that air out, you guys, so that as I exhale, my abdominal muscles are engaged. I'm pulling that belly button into that spine. So try forcing that air, and you're going to feel that core pulled in, and that just helps with that recruitment, so I don't have to think so much. Are my abs engaged? Every time I breathe and pull that in, I got it. So big breath in now. Squeeze. Front snap kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The ball's as high as you can kick. 9, 10. Now just a little faster. We can go with the knee pull. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep your spine tall. 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. And 10. Fantastic. I'm going to push that away. I want to keep my heart higher than my hips. If I feel like my heart rate is elevated, I don't want to drop my heart below my hips. It can make you dizzy and feel like you might pass out. So big inhale. Nice big exhale. We're going to come back to that seated here. And we're going to go with a scapula squeeze. You can be standing up. You can go as heavy as you feel comfortable. The goal is to squeeze your shoulder blades together. All right, so posture is so important. Right now, wherever you're at in your life, there's nothing more important than the integrity of your spine. So I want you to think about building that strength, keeping your shoulders back, pulling your belly button in. From here, you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together and draw back in. 1, 2, you're not shrugging your shoulders. 3, you're rotating and tucking the elbows behind your back. 5, 6, 7, if it helps, close your eyes and think, okay, am I accessing here and squeezing my shoulder blades together as much as I can? Pinching and squeezing, head, neck, and shoulders, relax. Exhale, 3 more. 2, 1, and rest it. Roll that neck out, you guys, ear, shoulder, chin, chest. All right, so we're gonna go with a row. You can do this from a seated position. You can also do this from a standing position. From a seated position, I come right down by my ankles, and I'm gonna pull right up into my hip. You can stand up from here, and then you can row just like this as well, okay? So deep breath in, whatever you do, don't round your back and don't drop the weights like this. All of that pressure comes into the low back. So my form is, my back is straight, my shoulders are staying back in their socket, and I'm gonna pull the weight up to the hip, and then release back down. So exhale up, 1. Now this is the same thing where I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together. I want to keep my neck in neutral. Exhale as I lift and squeeze. And if this doesn't work, keep that belly button pulled in. Your neck is in neutral. 5, 4, 3, 2, top of the movement, pulse it. 1, 2, 3, 4, neck in neutral. 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more, you guys. 9, 1 more. And 10. From here, interlace your hands, make a C curve with your spine. Deep breath in. Exaggerate. From standing, you can round your back, lift and tuck, lift and tuck, or from seated, open, squeeze the shoulder blades together, drop your chin into your chest. From here, I'm going to rotate, looking down towards the floor, chin coming towards the armpit, and then rotating towards the other side. Relaxing the shoulders as much as possible. Try one more time. Now, if I'm looking to the right, that left shoulder, if it helps, I can tuck it behind my back and increase that range of motion to really get into that trapezius, the top of the back here of the shoulders and the back of the neck. It's really tight, you guys, as day goes on. Lots of computer work and phone work, a lot of rotation of that neck, looking down, doing dishes, doing laundry, all of those things that we have to do. Come back to that middle, you guys, and take a roll back. Inhale. Exhale. Now forward. We're going to go back to that core one more time. So from the ball here, I'm going to walk it out. Now, from the floor, I can repeat this move. I could also elevate my feet from the floor to make it a little more challenging. But using the ball, I've got so much more range of motion where I can really open up over the top, and then I can mold to the ball and do a circle. Now, what I don't want to do is yank on my neck and pull it in. I want to keep the ball in one space, and I want to exhale as I come down, keep that belly button pulled in, and keep that core nice and tight. So you can inhale as you come around, as you start to curve, exhale, but keep your spine from here and the integrity of the spine really strong. So keeping that ball in one space, you have to push through your feet, start from the ground, and if you're on the floor, you're keeping that low back pinned to the floor. Now let's rewind to that circle. Inhale down, exhale up. Now you can open up as far as feels comfortable for you. Just 3 more. 2 more. 1 more time. And then I can come to that back bend, or I can flip over to an upward facing dog. Nice deep breath in. I want to create as much space as I can here in my spine. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. I can also sink from here, my hips down. You could come to a deep squat with your toes rotated out, but being able to mold your back to the ball, open and close, allows you to relax as you increase that range of motion in the hip flexors and the legs. Just a few more times here. So a great way to do the number stretch, I'll show you from here and then I'll come to a seated position, would be with the support of the ball, I can cross and take that one ankle over the top, and then you can mold to the ball and relax your back. And this allows you to really draw that knee away as far as you can. If that feels comfortable, great. You can also work your balance from a seated position and then cross that one ankle over the knee. Opposite foot stays relatively close to the center. If it's too far out to the side, you're going to lose your balance. From a stand-up position, you could go ahead and do the number 4 or sit on a chair or come from the floor. So you can also hinge forward. Now create that space in your hip. Lengthen your spine. Big breath in, you guys. And then I'm just going to switch to the other side here. And if you're all the way down, mold your back to the ball if that works for you. Take a nice deep breath in. You can also hinge from your hip and increase that range of motion. This is a nice stretch if you have sciatica, if you have any issues with your piriformis, which is kind of really deep underneath that glute, can be very hard to reach. Or you can sit on a tennis ball or a ball and you can roll that out a little bit into your glutes. So from here, I'm going to rotate my knees out. You can either be in that squatted position. If you have a ball, it makes it nice because you can ground yourself to the ball and relax your head, neck, and shoulders as you draw the knees away. So big breath in. Now really increase that range of motion in the spine. One more big breath here. And then walk it back up. So 3 big breaths here, you guys. Inhale, positive. Exhale, let go of anything that doesn't serve you. Take another big breath in. Reach for the sky. Exhale. Let the rest of that stuff go, you guys. Take one more big breath in. Now pull that energy right into the heart center. Think about all the things you have to be thankful for. And gently bow your head. Namaste. Have a wonderful day, you guys. I'll see you next time.